I've been reading Pema Chodron's book called Comfortable with Uncertainty. And if you haven't read any of her work, I think this book would be a very good one to begin with because, first of all, it's in very easily digestible chunks. There are 108 sections, and each one averages a couple pages in length. And I really appreciate the way that she communicates so concisely. And another reason I think this would be good to start with is that, from what I understand, the editor's beginning, or preface, states that it is a collection of her writings taken from varied sources, so it can give you an overall breadth of her work. The concept of being comfortable with uncertainty is something that really resonates for me. Being single as I am and have been for over 5 months, I believe that there is a much greater degree of uncertainty that I am living in. I feel that there's a kind of a structure to one's life. In a relationship, there tend to be patterns and greater predictability of what is unfolding or a vision of what will be. But just being with myself and letting life unfold, things do feel very uncertain. So one of the things that I like about Pema Chodron's writing is that she seems able to penetrate into the heart of a matter, and she communicates with no ego. I mean, there's a real softness, a real gentleness, and it's like she's able to empathically tune into the most vulnerable aspects of the human experience and talk about them in a compassionate way. It's really quite healing and beautiful to read her work. And there is that tendency for us to fill space that comes with uncertainty. And there is a psychological theorist named George Kelley who went into the field without the traditional psychoanalytic training and so forth. And so a lot of what he learned about human behavior, he learned and observed on the job. And he believed that people were motivated largely by the desire to make their life more predictable. And I think he was really onto something with that, because people naturally want greater predictability in their life, certainty, if you will, because it ties in with survival. For so long, our bodies became programmed to protect ourselves from various dangers, to make our food supply more predictable, to make protection from wild animals more predictable. That could allow us, if things were predictable, to surrender somewhat and feel more safe and to live longer. So, with life not being predictable or certain at different times, we're not only fighting against our just fear of the unknown, we're also going against that biological urge that George Kelley described to make things more predictable as a motivation for virtually all of our behavior. So to let go of that is a powerful experience that requires surrender. And even though it is our tendency to want things to be more predictable, as George Kelley spoke of, I don't believe that it is our destiny. And I believe that the transition from being a biological, body-based entity, body-motivated and body-identified entity, to becoming spirit-identified means letting go of that need for predictability and replacing that with faith and trust and surrender. Because if you believe that life is ultimately on your side, and that although there may be challenges that you get yourself into because of choices or karma that you have to burn off, the universe truly is constructed to try to help you. And that's why inner guidance and synchronicity and so forth are on your side. It's all trying to move you into greater awareness and the lessons that will help life be easier for you. But you have to let go. And one of the things that you have to let go of sometimes is certainty about what things will look like in the future. So, as I mentioned in another video recently, I believe that approaching life with a curious attitude is one that is peaceful, calming, as opposed to approaching life with a desire or forcing things. Just be curious about how it unfolds, and don't worry about what's unfolding next, because if you put energy towards worrying, then that lowers your vibration, and you're going to attract more fearful situations and anxiety-producing situations, as opposed to if you approach life with a place of trust and a place of feeling supported. It doesn't matter how many people are supporting you in your life. If you are supported by yourself and you allow the wisdom of your spirit to come through and you listen to it and you follow it, even when it means, facing disapproval from others in whatever way that may come, then you have just an incredible amount of wisdom available to you. I mean, if you access the wisdom that you carry right within you, you don't have to look outside of yourself. You have everything you need. Just let go of what other information is coming through the egos of other people that you may feel dependent upon for a sense of safety and security. And let that inner wisdom shine through, because then you'll feel safe enough to handle whatever comes your way. And I believe that you'll start to attract more positive and self-nurturing kind of vibrations when you have a greater degree of self-trust.